promote the growth of Tigres in English through analysis, discussions, interviews, and more. Welcome to the Lautimes podcast. Well, here we are. As the title says, football is cruel. We watch a sport that sometimes just gives you immense pain. And we are currently, all as a fan base, feeling immense pain and sadness over what happened over the weekend. And unfortunately, that's what tonight's show is about here on Lautimes, where we talk about Tigres in English, even if it means they finished runner-up in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. So here we are. I'm Dennis. I'm the host and producer. And yeah, tonight's a therapy session, folks. We're going to be ranting and venting and processing our feelings, going through the stages of grief in rapid succession together. And yeah, that's what we're going to do on the show. So thanks for being here. I am joined by one of our crew members here tonight, the famous man of our network. You know him as Tigres_English down in Austin. It is Lou, holding it down for us in Central Texas. My friend, it's tough. It's tough out here.
Yeah, bro. Not a good week. And do you want me to give you some more bad news just to kind of pile it on?
Oh gosh. Thank you, Sean.
Which sad face, Dennis or me?
Both, probably me. Go ahead.
Well, as it just got posted in the group chat, Fabhu is claiming that allegedly Pedro Losa is getting one more shot.
Oh no!
So we might have to deal with Pedro Losa for another season, another terrible run, terrible form from that stinks, bro. I did not need more bad news. I hope that's not a true rumor. I hope it's false.
I hope so too. Who needs to go first? Pedro Losa or Juan Purata? The answer is yes.
Yes. Honestly, I would get rid of Pedro Losa first, bro. That guy is stinking up the joint.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about another feminine thing here in a second. Already going strong with the chat tonight. Thank you for joining us if you're hanging out in chat. Do us a favor if you're watching live, as always. Help us out by getting this to more people, by sharing the link with somebody, liking the stream if you're on YouTube or on Twitter, reposting it if you're on Twitter or X. Share this with your family group chat, with your other fellow Tigres fans. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us if you haven't already. And if you're listening on podcasts later, thanks for being here as well. And as always, if you haven't subscribed to the show or left us a rating or anything like that yet, you should. And leave us a comment on Spotify as well. As I mentioned, tonight is all about the stages of grief and processing together what happened Saturday. The vast majority of it, anyway. We do have some news we want to touch on really quickly before we get to the rant. So if you're waiting for the rant and the therapy session, give us a few minutes, but maybe that can lead you guys to spread the word about the stream and get more people in here so that we can all collectively grieve together. Why don't we start? I want to get to the press conference yesterday. I want to let you have your bit about that. I do want to start by staying with Feminine for a second. Jorge Rosales posted earlier that the team is trying to figure out how to keep Emma Watson permanently. They are in talks with Manchester United about how to make that happen. She really liked her time here. She really liked working with the coaching staff and with the team. And obviously, there was no like buy option with her loan originally, so they'd have to work something new out. So yeah, that's the news. Hopefully that happens. Obviously, I think you and I both agree that that would be fantastic if she stayed.
Yeah, it would be some good news in a pile of bad news. So I would love for her to stay. Maybe that's the reason why there's talks, because perhaps Pedro Losa is getting extended, and it was a player that Pedro Losa had requested. So we'll see. Maybe that's the package. You keep Emma Watson, but you also have to keep Pedro Losa. So yeah, to me that would be great news. I think it's a win-win for all of us, and a player that I think has fit in really well with the squad and the city and the fan base.
Yep, I agree. No other notes from me. Um, Now let's go to the press conference. Yesterday, the transition was made complete with the new leadership, as we've talked about and reported on previously here on the show, and what's been news for a couple months. Mauricio Culebro has left his role as president of the team to take a job with Atlanta's people, and Carlos Emilio Gonzalez has stepped in as the new president as of yesterday, and yesterday was the press conference about that. So, Lou, you said you watched the entire thing. Why don't you give us a recap, the Spark Notes version, and your thoughts on what he had to say, and just kind of the direction of the team and the club going forward.
Yeah, I thought it was a good press conference, a good transition. They talked about how this is something that's been in the works for months now, and the new club president Carlos Emilio Gonzalez actually started going on a daily basis to the club about a month and a half ago. So there's been a ton of overlap, just kind of learning the system, getting to know the staff, and just observing Mauricio Culebro work, and then just kind of taking notes as he goes along to see what needs to be done. They talked about Culebro's achievements when he was here. One of the big things they talked about was the finances. Culebro said that he was really proud of how much revenue he's generated. He said that there was a 100% increase in revenue from the previous administration, which I believe, because at one point under Miguel Angel Garza and Ingeniero Rodriguez, we had not only our team in at Tigres, but we had about 131 players kind of roaming around on loan throughout different teams, and so there was just no fiscal responsibility from the previous administration. Lots of lots of good accomplishments, but just financially they weren't getting the job done. And Culebro basically mentioned that that was one of the reasons he was brought in, to basically get everything in shape, get Tigres back on track financially, and that basically Tigres at this point is one of the few clubs in North America that is self-sustainable. And that was a word that got mentioned multiple times throughout the press conference, that Tigres needs to be self-sustainable, which means that basically we need to generate our own revenue and make sure we're continuing to operate like a business should, where you have operating costs, but you exceed um, expectations by having high revenue and a lot of earnings. And so it seems like that's going to continue under the new club president. He was asked by Pello Maldonado at one point if he's worried or concerned that he doesn't have any experience in the game, in football in particular, and that Pello mentioned the fan base has concerns about that. And he basically said, "Yeah, I agree. I don't have any experience in football, but I do have experience with teams." And he seems very adept, adroit in leadership. I think he's gonna be a good leader. He's gonna be a type of president that surrounds himself with the right people. And so he was asked about changes, and he said, "No, I don't want to talk about that right now." So he said, "What I will tell you is that we have a 100-day plan that's been laid out to Cemex and Mauricio Doener, and then we have a 5-year plan that's also been submitted to Mauricio Doener and Cemex, and we're going to follow it and expect changes, but we're not going to tell you what those changes are going to be." But he is a guy that's very good at managing people, managing teams, a very good leader, tons of experience at Cemex. He has nearly 30 years as a leader in Cemex, and he said that he expects results and that he thinks that Tigres would just continue doing what they were doing under Culebro. It's just going to be a smooth transition. So it was good to see. There was a lot of positives in that. Doener got asked at one point if Cemex is going to continue to drop money on the team, and they said nothing's going to change. We're going to continue to support the team, um, but we do expect results, and we expect Tigres to be self-sustainable. So I think at one point he mentioned that it needs to be a complete circle, right? You get results, and that kind of increases your revenue, and that continues to drive results. And so he expects that wheel to continue turning. Um, and so I think we're going to see a lot of what we've seen in this next year. They talked about acquiring pieces, but pieces that fit the perfil tigre. They mentioned that word several times. We don't just want successful players, we want players that fit our culture. And so you get the sense that they're not going to just be hiring the Soteldos and the Carlos Salcedos, right? That are talented but have a lot of baggage. I think they're looking a lot at the human aspect. They're looking at a lot at the player as a person and not just the player. Is he a good leader? Is he a good fit in the locker room? That sort of stuff. So I think we can look forward to the team continue to make less hires, perhaps, but quality players. The Angel Correa types, the Gorriaran types, um, the Araujo types, right? That are very disciplined, good players, and that are good team players, have leadership, that sort of hire. So it was good to see. Um, Carlos Emilio Gonzalez kind of went along with a with analogy that Doener used about being a orchestra director. He says, "I'm here to direct." Right? We're the players, the coaches, the staff. They're going to do the work. I'm just here directing them. And it seems like he has a good vision. He doesn't appear to be a very good speaker. He even mentioned it at one point. I'm not very eloquent, and it was a little weird seeing him read his initial press conference, like his initial not press conference, his initial statement. He was basically reading it word for word off of a manuscript he had. But seeing him on the interviews that I've been watching with Fox Deportes, and he's a lot better 1-to-1. I was a little worried, like, oh man, how is this guy going to be a good leader if he's not very eloquent? But just watching him 1-on-1, he's a different beast. Like, he's very good. So I think they chose the right person. He looks like he's a very hard worker, has good vision. So I feel like we're in good hands with this new club president. He's not going to be as experienced as Culebro. Culebro came from America and had a ton of experience in the industry. So I think he's going to make some mistakes along the way. But if it is true what he says that he's going to surround himself with the best people, then I think we can expect pretty good results. You're muted.
Aha, thank you. Host error. Couple comments I want to get to real quick. First from Sean. I listened to the podcast on 1.2 speed, so Lou sounds drunk as hell.
No, that was Saturday night.
Yeah, no kidding. Drieger saying, I want you to speak to this point. I'm confident and not confident now in how he talked about Torrado.
He got asked about Torrado specifically, and he said that Torrado is part of his the staff that he trusts, right? So he's basically saying this is a guy I trust in. He knows the game. This is a guy that's going to report to me, and obviously I'm going to listen to his counsel. Which, yeah, I agree with Drieger. It's a little bit worrisome, but in a press conference of this type, I don't expect that guy to show any of his cards. And he was very careful when he got asked certain questions. He would say, "Nah, I'm not prepared to say anything at this moment." And so, yeah, I expect him to say, "I trust Dorado, and he's part of the team," and rah rah rah. But who knows if in that 100-day plan he sees that he's not the right fit, I'm sure he'll make adjustments. He strikes me as the type that reads people pretty well. He understands things pretty well, and I think he would make that move if he sees that Torrado's not pulling his weight. I think
Right.
he's gonna have high expectations in that regard.
Yeah, surely, right? Like you would think that there would be a pretty easy read on him based on just kind of the things that we've seen from him in the public and his lack of showing himself to the public. Like how many press conferences has Torrado done in his time, like as sporting director? Like four, if that.
If that,
So hopefully that's just him saying that, just not to rile things up, and that in the back burner there's something in the works there. Because this is the perfect time to make a change with the World Cup and not a ton of stuff going on and kind of a break from everything. So maybe I'm still keeping my hopes up that Homeboy will not be around, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the long run.
I think he's gonna sit down and just evaluate probably these next 90 days, 60 days. Just sit down and evaluate everybody. He looks really sharp. I was noticing that it was Mauricio Culebro on the left, Mauricio Doener in the center, and Carlos Emilio on the right. And out of the three, he was the only one taking notes, and he took notes the entire time. Like he pen and paper, old school notes. So it just he looks like a guy that knows how to run a business, knows how to run a company, a big corporation like Cemex, right? So I think he's gonna evaluate things and figure out which guys don't fit his style, which guys don't fit his team, and I think eventually he's gonna form his staff according to his liking and people that he trusts. So I'm sure right now he's not trying to rock the boat. He's not trying to make waves. Just gonna be chill for a little bit. He's gonna lay low, make his rounds on TV and do his interviews and everything, and then start making moves.
Yeah. The first, I would say, 180 days, not even just the first 100 days. Like what are the first 6 months from now till the end of the year? What is that going to look like under this new presidency? I think that's the question that I am longing to know the answer to. Like that's something that I'm really intrigued by as far as like what happens from a leadership perspective, from how things get handled on the men's side versus how things get handled on the women's side. Like there's a lot of layers with this club, with this team, that I'm curious to see how he handles it over the next 6 or so months. So we'll see what happens.
He talked about making the team a protagonist, and then he mentioned that he wants the team to have more international coverage. I'm not sure what that means, but it's kind of good to see somebody saying, "Hey, we want the team to be seen outside of Nuevo León, outside of Monterrey." So it'll be interesting to see what he does about that, what plans he has that sort of thing. But what I gathered from the press conference is that he's a company man. He's a guy that has ties to the city, to the club, and loves the club. So he obviously wants the best for the club. Does that mean automatic success? No. You know, I think any kind of transitions, it might be a little bumpy at first, but this is a guy that I think understands that you can't rock the boat too much during that transition. You got to make
Right.
it as smooth as possible. Like they talked about Pizarro. Somebody mentioned, hey, that's two finals in a row that he loses. He's been bounced, and he basically said, I trust him. Like I really do. He's working hard. Um, we were really close, and basically he has our vote of confidence, which to me, I think it's important. I think right now, especially if all the fans are angry and want to beat up everybody, especially the coach, and he's kind of calming the waters a little bit. I think he's doing a good job of just letting everybody vent, but at the same time saying, no, let's take it easy. Let's think about this, and then we'll go from there.
Last thing about that press conference, there was, a couple of questions obviously about Gignac and just what's next, right? Like I know Duener addressed it yesterday. I can't remember if Carlos did, but just speak to that as to what they said about that, and you know what do we think
It's
happens from here.
it's kind of funny because that question was directed at Carlos Emilio Gonzalez, and it was a question that was kind of a multi-part question, and he turns to the winner and said, "You want to answer that one?" And the winner then came out and said, "This is a guy that's a legend at our club. We respect him. We love his drive, his discipline, his ambition. Um, he's really important to our team, and he has expressed that he wants to continue playing, but all cycles come to an end, and we feel like his time at Tigres, playing at Tigres, has come to an end. But we're working and we're in conversations with him to try to keep him at the club at a certain capacity." So they didn't mention what they were offering him or anything like that. They didn't get into specifics, but basically an opportunity to work with the front office at the club and to continue here. And he was kind of saying like we're trying to convince him to stay, which I think is good, right? I think at least you're giving a guy that's that legendary a chance to be able to stick around and continue leading us in some way or another. Everything got kicked back to Carlos Emilio Gonzalez, and he goes, "Oh, I just want to add something to it." He says, "As a person that forms leaders, he says I see a lot of good qualities and potential in Gignac. He says I see a lot of leadership in him, very disciplined, very focused, and those are the qualities that we can use on our staff." So, just basically adding to what I'm saying is that they really think that he's got a huge amount of potential. And I think honestly, like I wish Gignac would take them up on it because his playing career is coming to an end. And you could go to another club and get injured, and all you're doing is just tarnishing your career, right? Where here everybody loves him, everybody respects him, and he could continue doing so many things for the club. So I'm hoping that they'll convince him to stay. And I think the attitude of this new club president is the type to welcome him in and maybe and take him under his wing to like teach him, because he did mention that he says he needs to learn the business side of football, right? And he goes, and I think that's something that we could teach him. So to me, it'd be kind of a good role for him where he gets to learn on the job the other side of football, the business side of it, and I think he can help us out tremendously if that were to happen.
Percentage wise, how likely do you think that happens?
I think I like the odds, man. Just because, for one, I don't see a lot of teams dropping big coin on him, and I don't think he's going to be the type of guy that wants to go play for. half a mil a year, and it's a good project. He's established in the city. His kid plays on the youth teams. Why would you want to break that up and go play for Kansas City, or some random MLS team, or even worse, go to like a Puebla or something, like there's just I just don't think that's a good situation for him. Where here he's already got the hang of it. He lives right outside the city. He's got a great house. I think
He's selling pizzas.
got the restaurant now. I think he's just fully established. To me, he should stay. It's just hard. I understand him. It's hard as a player to admit that's it, that you're done, that you need to hang it up.
I would say I think part of him still has the itch. I want
Yeah,
to agree with you so bad, but I think he's going to want to play at least another 6 months. So I'm going to be higher than Sean. Sean said 20. I'm going to say 35% he ends up joining the front office.
I'm 60-40. I think 60 he
Okay.
stays, 40 that he doesn't.
Okay.
I think somehow they'll convince him. I hope so. Like
I
maybe
do
that's
too.
just me leaning. I just think that they might make it juicy for him, and
Yeah. Actually, I'll bump it up 40-60 for me. I'll be the opposite of you. The problem is what, Sean? I think he pressed send before before he finished his thought. Um, I was gonna say something else about the press. Oh, here we go. The front office is always going to be available. Once he quits playing, that is all the way over. Also true.
yeah, I mean that the offer could be taken away. You never know.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I liked a lot of what he had to say. Obviously, I didn't watch a lot of it. Like I saw a lot of quotes and clips and stuff yesterday and today, but I am very hopeful for CEG's vision and his leadership and all that. So, um, we'll see what happens, and you know, to a new era. Hopefully he can help bring in some better quality players more consistently. Because I felt like with Culebro we got that in some instances, right? Like we got good players during his reign, but we also had a lot of duds. I would like for less duds and more consistently good players. Maybe he can help in that regard.
I think they cleaned that up a little bit these last 6 months. Like if you look at who's come in, Paco Reyes, Farfan, Araujo, go back a little more ways, Correa. There was a lot less duds than early Culebro, right? Where you're bringing
Yeah,
in Soteldo and Jordi Caicedo and those type of players, right? There was a lot of that going on. I think they finally cleaned that up.
exactly. Exactly. Any other thoughts before we get sad?
There was one Tigres femenil rumor floating around. I do not know this player, but her name is Maite Subieta. She plays for Athletic Club Bilbao, and allegedly there's interest from Tigres to acquire her. Like I said, I don't know anything about her, but that's a name to keep an eye on. Maite Subieta.
Okay. Drieger saying, I have a feeling that APG is going to be like a vice president or assistant. Sean saying, don't forget, cha 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 Charlie.
I was gonna mention Charlie, but he had a decent little run during Club World Cup, so out of respect, I left him out.
Oh gosh, I don't know if decent is the right way to describe it, but sure. I just hope we continue finding guys that are good year over year instead of one hit wonders like Sebastian or Samir is who you're referring to.
Samir Caetano from Watford.
Ugh.
Yeah, man.
who just got relegated, by the way, in the Saudi league. His team did anyway.
The
So
only good thing about Samir Caetano is that we did make a little buck on him.
yeah, we did, which when we weren't expecting uh, that to happen. So anywho, okay, well, we're about half an hour in, and the rest of the show is just sad hour. um, we all know what happened on Saturday. I don't have to. I don't have to give some eloquent intro to set that up. We all know what happened. Um, it sucks. It just sucks. I'll start with a little commentary and then I'll get to my bigger stuff later. Um, I can't imagine how the players are feeling. Um, I know how we feel. We're all pretty mentally deflated. To have that scenario happen where you lose in almost identical fashion, like how we lost in December to the same team in the same stadium in almost the exact same scenario, almost everything happening identically, especially in the penalty shootout for the most part. I mean, I felt dead inside. I told you guys in our chat the other night. I felt dead inside, like driving home after the game. Um, I can't even imagine how the players are feeling, um, being that close to making that result go in our favor. Um, there are some things that uh, I am angry about, even still. None of them involving Guido, really, except for one. Um, honestly, thought Guido did a pretty nice job, and I think he did all he could to set the team up to win that game. Um, so yeah, I'll get to my extended rant later, but that's how I'm going to start. And I have no question. I have no prompt for you, Lou. Just dale, bro.
Yeah, initially I thought it was a little weird that he left Brunetta out of the lineup, but we mentioned it last week here on the pod that to expect a slow start. Um, just because both teams were coming off of a huge layoff and we hadn't played in forever and there was going to be a lot of rust. So I think he understood that well. I think he understood that he needed to save everything for the second half. Um, so I wasn't too mad that Brunetta got left off. I thought the team looked balanced. If I had one gripe about the starting 11, it would have been Loroña. I'm not sure what what he was thinking with Loroña, and I think out of the 11, I think he's the one that looked most out of sync. If you notice, like around the 15-minute mark, they switched. Garza and him switched because Toluca had kind of figured out that if they pressed on his side, that they were gonna force errors and possibly score. And so that was a heads up move by Pizarro to switch them. And I thought once Garza played on that left fullback spot, we were able to um, come out playing clean and get past their press. And honestly, it was just a stalemate. That first half, the first 30 minutes was just a wash. I think they had a header that went wide, and then I think a Nico shot that was pretty weak to the hands of Nahuel. And I think you called it well pre-game, Dennis. You mentioned that Nico Castro was going to be a key piece for them, and he was pretty much their entire offense that first half. He was the only one that was kind of generating anything. Paulinho didn't even get a shot off to like the 60th minute. So we did a good job of neutralizing them. And I had told you too, if Nico Castro does have a good game, there's nothing much we can do about it. He's going to get his, right? There's just so much you can do to contain him. He's quality. But I was happy with how we were doing it. Clean sheet going into the half, no mistakes. Right around the 38th minute, I think we should have scored, even though that was our first real opportunity. But Araujo got a really good look from Angel Correa, He just didn't strike it well, right? And the ball just kind of went wide. If he gets a good foot on that, I think he has a really good chance of scoring. It was pretty much near the penalty box, almost just wide of it, just to the right of it. And I thought that was the best chance the entire half. That was the best opportunity. And second half started, I thought that's when Pizarro should have dialed it up a little more. Like I think that's when he should have started making his subs and saying, "Hey, let's go," because you had already seen that the team had woken up. Around the 30th minute, you could see the intensity pick up. Our passing started getting better, and then in the second half, you could tell, like for example, Araujo and Gorriaran were way more active. Like they started pivoting, right? They started doing their actual job. You could see them moving in, connecting the two lines. Everything was looking really good. I thought our possession was solid. We looked like the better team in the entire second half. I just think we were a little too slow to make our move. It needed to be a little bit sooner. And I think we made that mistake in extra time that that you just can't make. I mean, it was just kind of one of those. I had said it pregame. You can't make any mistakes with this Mohamed team. They're really well coached, and we just once again, I think it was Brunetta kind of being a little lazy there and not stopping that pass. And yeah, I think everybody could have done better. Romulo Zwarg was could have slid on that play. I understand why he didn't. He wanted to make sure that he doesn't cut back and then shoot right in front of Noel. So he played it a little more conservative, but in hindsight, I think that's one where he would have wanted to have back. He would have wanted to slide and block that shot. And then Nahuel was well positioned, but you can tell old age is getting to him. Just
He has to
reflexes.
save that, in my opinion.
Reflexes were too slow there, bro. I mean, it wasn't a shot that was too wide of him. It was actually not too far from his knees. He just didn't have the reaction to get to it. And it was, it's a high difficulty shot, and the guy I got to give the guy who shot it props. Um, he got it done, and then obviously we rallied and tied, and then PKs. It's disappointing because we had the personnel that you want. You had Gignac, you had Brunetta, you had Gorriaran, Angel Correa. You had the players that you want taking the PKs, and you can't blame that on Pizarro, bro. I mean, you really can't because by that point, Mohamed had burned all his cartridges. Paulinho was out, Marcel Ruiz was out, all his pieces were gone. Basically playing with the bench, and your bench out PK'd are good guys. Just can't happen. It just can't. And I mean, you can look at things like to me, like I understand why Pizarro put in Purata and people mentioned it. They said, "Oh, well, he's better in the air on set pieces. He could have given you something." But you got to understand the moment of the game. You got to understand who you're bringing in, what kind of last 6 months that guy has had. He's just been nothing but bad juju, bro. And so you're just tempting fate. And I think Pizarro knows that after what happened, he knows that he goofed. Right? You're bringing a guy who's just been very unfortunate this entire season, has had some terrible performances, and really you're gonna trust him there? I just don't think the the pros outweigh the cons on that one, and you just have to realize like it's not the right type of guy for this one. And so when he goes to take that PK, for the record, it wasn't a terrible shot. It was well placed. The problem with that shot is that it was telegraphed. He went up to the ball. He did his little stutter step, right, trying to slow down to see which way the goalkeeper's going, and the goalkeeper baited him into that shot. That's where he wanted him to go. And as he's approaching the ball to hit it, the goalkeeper had already loaded his entire weight to his right side. He knew where he was going, and keeper beat him to the punch. It was just that easy. Like, the ball was well placed. It was near the post, low. If the goalie hadn't committed, that ball goes in. Like, executed properly as far as the shot's concerned. The problem is the goalkeeper baited you into that shot and you took it. And so, it's just, what can you do? Gorri missed. Gorri's pretty good normally in PK situations. He went low when normally he goes high and pretty hard. So a little disappointed you go low and not super hard. No chance. So I mean, it hurt, bro, because at the end of the day, we were the better team. Like, you can throw away the first half if you want, just say that was a wash. But you look at what we did, the body of work in the second half and in extra time. That was our game. That was our game. That's what stings the most, because last December you could argue, no, like, Toluca outplayed us. We got to we got to PKs and didn't get it done. But you could argue that Pizarro got out coached. You could argue that we got outplayed for good amounts of that match. And frankly, we ran out of juice. And that didn't happen this time around. We had a good starting 11. Pizarro nailed it with all his subs pretty much except Purata. And we were a little bit unlucky because Ozzy Herrera was starting to warm up in the second half, starting to get a little hot, and then pulls that hamstring again. We lose him. Bring in Marcelo Flores, and then it's like a freak accident, bro. He didn't even get touched or anything, and his ACL goes out. So, then you're forced into another sub that perhaps you hadn't prepared, and now you're bringing in Chicha. So I think in spite of all that, he still did well because we finished with the right personnel to be able to try to close that game out, and then have the right people for PKs. I mean, you got beat by Fernando Arce, who's a sub, eternal sub. You had Romero in there taking a PK. Cordova, who's been a sub the entire season. So I mean, what can you do? It's just, I think it's this team needs to have more of a killer instinct. There's times where you need to realize there is. I think they felt confident going into PKs, right? Hey, we got Gignac this time around. We got Brunetta ready to go. We got Gorri. I think you get confident. You go, let's go with it. But you need to close out. At some point when that 90 minutes ended, you need to huddle up and say, we got 30 minutes and we ended in 30. Why? Because we have the better squad on the pitch. Like, they're playing with their subs, right? You just need to go all out. And I think we're still lacking a little bit of that killer instinct, and that's what's messing us up. Just, it's not that they didn't play hard. It's not that they didn't give it their all. It's just you lack that killer instinct. You're muted.
Well said. Um, I have things to add um, to that. Things that I am probably going to be pretty nitpicky on, but I don't care. I genuinely don't care. Um, I think part of the reason why the first half was the way it was not even just because everybody was trying to feel each other out, but we were playing with 10 men. Once again, I don't understand Buffalo Aguirre's role on this team anymore. Like, he gave you a good few games at the start of his tenure, and I mean, what did he do in the time that he was on the field? What did he do? Did he have a shot on goal? He did nothing. We talked about it last week. It should have been Correa starting at the 9, and you bring him in later on against tired legs, against a tired back line. They like I was frustrated at just the lack of offense in the first half because it felt like we weren't getting him the ball, but then anytime he got close to the ball, he did nothing with it. Right? Like he wasn't ever in the right spot, and I don't know. Like that just felt like a waste to me. So I have to give Guido a little bit of a knock on that. I'm with you that the second half played so much better. I don't think he got the sub pattern right. Yes, he got the right people in, but Brunetta should have been the first sub. I don't. I was shocked that Marcelo was the first one because, like you said,
because of the injury.
yeah, like Ociel, having to come in because of that. Um, but it also felt like Brunetta could have came on even before Marcelo came on in general. Like
He was
honestly,
he was forced into that sub, and it was already late.
yeah. I honestly felt like what he should have done is he should have taken Aguirre out at halftime and put in Brunetta, and then you roll with Correa as the 9 for however long until APG came in. But that didn't happen, and I was frustrated at that, like a lot. Like I don't, not that Marcelo was even bad when he came on. Like actually,
He was actually good. He was actually all
yeah,
right.
he was kind of given their right side of the defense some issues. And even right before he goes down and blows out his ACL, it's like, oh, maybe he does something here on this 1-on-1 or 1v2. And obviously, like you mentioned, it just sucks for the kid to go down like that 24, 26 hours after getting called up to the Canadian national team. His World Cup dream is over, right? Like that just super sucks for him. And you have to adjust everything else on the fly. Um, there were a couple opportunities that I felt like we really should have done better. The Correa one at the beginning of extra time, the one where he kind of tried to finesse it.
The
I
one
get
that he hits it with the outside of the foot.
I get why he did it, and I think most of the time that makes sense. I think he had the space to just blast it. Honestly, I think he had a fair amount of time to do it. I get why he wanted to get the placement down, but freaking Garcia's having the game of his life. Dude turned into 2022 Courtois in that Champions League final. Like almost an identical type of performance between those
It's
two.
unbelievable, bro.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Like
Yeah.
there's been times I've watched plenty of Toluca this year, not when they played us. And there are some times where he stinks the joint up. Like genuinely stinks the joint up. And then all of a sudden he has the game of his life against us. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Twice.
The
Yeah, had a
one
good.
the one he saved against Chicha, bro.
Yeah, that too.
The Gignac one. Just a
Yeah.
reflex. We picked his
Also,
toe up.
that was my next thing. Anybody who gives Gignac grief about that, I'm sorry, I'm not having that. That's tough. You have like a split second to make a decision. Could he have done better? Could he have put it in a different spot? Yes. But also, you're like 2 feet from him. Like you just have to get it on frame. And he got it on frame. It's just that unfortunately it was right in front of him and it bounces off of him and we ended up not even getting a second corner out of that. Like the XG on that was like 96.96, which was wild. It's probably the biggest chance we had in the whole game. And maybe younger Gignac makes that. And he probably does. I don't know, man. I understand why people are upset about that chance, but I really think that's a lot more difficult to convert in real time than not, personally. So
I agree. I agree.
I I just can't slander Gignac for that. I really can't. Um the goal we gave up.
Well, and then just to add to that point, uh, Dennis, Gignac needed more time, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta give him more time to
Yep.
work his magic. Like
Yep.
in the few minutes that he did get, he gave you more than Aguirre has given you in the last 6 games.
Yes. Exactly. Maybe he should have started. I mean, obviously we didn't want him to start because we wanted him to finish, but
At least give him the entire second half.
yeah, exactly. Their goal. You know what caused part of the chaos leading up to that goal was Sebastian Cordova playing as a false nine. Like we couldn't handle that, which that's insane. That's insane that our midfield and our back line was not ready for that. Like they have no other strikers they're going to put out there. They're going to do a false nine situation. Like once they take out Paulinho, like what did you think was going to happen? And falling asleep on that, you already mentioned that Romulo could have done so much better. I think Nahuel was the big culprit, though. He has to save that. Has to save that. I'm sorry, and I'm gonna go in on him again here in a second. Um, kudos to Brunetta. The ball and the assist to Joaquim's goal was great. Great ball. Oh my gosh. Um, he came to play, man. Like it sucks that he got benched. I don't think it was right, but he came to play when he came on. Um, could
Yeah,
have been a little bit.
we look so much better.
I think he was a little bit too deep at times because Gorriaran wasn't even really in midfield half the time. Like he was kind of shifting out towards the left back spot, um, especially in possession to kind of be like the line of five.
That's why I think you're so right when you say you got to pull Buffalo and bring in Brunetta, because then Brunetta doesn't have to play as deep because you still have Araujo and Gorriarán in the pivot.
Exactly. Which, by the way, Araujo had a great game.
He was
Great,
great. He was
great
great,
game. One
especially
of
in that
his
second half.
dog
Both
everywhere.
both pivots
Yeah,
in that second half were
yeah,
just
he was a monster.
chef's
Chuy
kiss.
Garza was great. I mean, we had a lot of really solid performances. Um, okay, let's get to the shootout.
Joaquim was awesome.
Yeah, Warrior, as Sean mentioned earlier, I showed that comment. Um, okay, my thoughts on the shootout. Gorriaran, as much as he's had a good season, as much as he's been important, I'm going to throw up Sean's comment about that. That choke job. You can't miss that. You're the captain. Can't miss that. Sorry, can't miss that. And it makes me upset even more that he puts out a big old statement after the game, apologizing. He's like, "Dog, I don't want to. I don't want to read your statement,
I
bro.
saw you get mad, bro.
I don't want to read your statement, big dog. I don't want to read your statement. You fluffed the penalty. You can't be doing that as the captain." And the same goes for Nahuel when he literally could have saved 3 of their penalties. 3 of them. And he's out here talking about, "Oh, we tried and this, that, and the other." Come on, bro. You let one literally slip through you. I understand you're 40 and you get a lot of grace because you're a legend and you're a big part of why we are who we are, but big dog, you got to make that. Like you got to secure that. I think it was the second or the third one that went
Yeah, I
under
think
him.
it was Fede Pereira that took that one.
Like, come on. And it happened
Really,
also in
really
December.
poorly taken.
It happened in December too. He had a
Yeah,
couple that
at
he could
some
have had.
point we need to stop remembering Nahuel from 2015, 2016.
Yep.
The 10-year ago Nahuel. He's no longer a good PK stopper, bro.
Yep.
I mean, think about all the series that have gone to PKs and we haven't done well. Columbus, the two Toluca ones. At some point, we just got to say he's not what he used to be
Yeah.
as far as PK stopping.
Which he still does stop one every now and then. I mean, he literally stopped one. He stopped the 5th one that they had the other night. But
I mean, once again, that was a really poorly taken one.
oh yeah, that
Look
was
at the ones.
Romero, right?
Yeah, look at the ones that Luis Garcia from Toluca stopped. Those were better shots.
Yeah, yeah. And then I don't want to harp on Purata any more than I need to. The question is, why is he on the field over Jesus Angulo? When Jesus Angulo is a better penalty taker, he has experience shooting penalties in a final, 2023 Campeones Cup in LA, and he's one of your captains. That's
Better
what I don't
defender.
understand. And a better defender. Like just a much better player. Like on the fringe of making the World Cup roster for Mexico. Like, what are we doing? Like, that is the one thing I give a lot of grief towards Guido about. Like, you can't do that. Like, that's a bad sub. There's no, you mentioned it earlier. I'm just going to say it again. There's no justification for it at all. At all. And I literally like I was watching it with a buddy. We were watching both the Spurs game, Spurs Thunder, and this game like together at the same time. Shout out YouTube TV Multiview. And literally, I turned to him. My friend's name is Preston. I turned to Preston as soon as Burata was on the screen. I was like, "Oh, we're done. It's over." Like I had zero confidence that was going in. Zero.
Yeah, I think we all sunk as fans. Like we
It's like the meme that's been going around about uh what's his face from Pumas.
Efrain Juarez.
Yeah. It was that. It was that meme all over again. Oh, Woodsy. Easy. Woodsy
What's
Premier
up,
League, by the
Woodsie?
way. Premier League hole, baby. We haven't mentioned that on the show yet. Congrats to you and your club. So some form of tiger is
Our
successful.
Tiger brothers from another mother, bro,
That's
from
right.
across
That's
the
right.
pond.
That's right. Um, yeah, I mean, really, that's the guy. And you had other. It's not like I understand if Burata's taking that if it's round 10, right? When we literally have
Yeah,
nobody
when
else.
you have nobody else.
But dog, Chicha
He,
still hadn't shot yet.
Chicha,
Farfan,
Chicha's there. Farfan's there.
Araujo, I think.
No, Araujo was out, but you got Joaquin.
Yeah, Joaquin, yeah,
I know
who's been on a goal scoring tear,
he
honestly.
missed the last one at Toluca, but dude, he was coming off of a goal. You got to give him the shout there, bro. To me, out of those three, I would have gone Joaquim, then Farfan, then Chicha, and then Purata would have been my last option.
Yep, before Nahuel, obviously, yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it. That's makes me so angry. Like, why did we think that was a good idea? I don't understand. Um, take over for a second because I think we're gonna get some participation from across the pond. Let me send Woodsy the link,
Hey, well,
and we'll.
send it to Sean while you're at it, bro.
Bro, Sean dipped. This bro said he got to run.
Oh man,
Yeah, I got you, Woodsy. I'm sending it to you right now. Anyway,
yeah, bro. I mean, it's just disappointing, man. It's just one of those nights where we should have been lifting the cup. What hurts a ton, bro, is how much money was gonna come in.
oh my god, and the
'Cause,
exposure,
bro, you're gonna get Intercontinental in the winter, play against
dude.
one of the big wigs in Brazil.
Maybe play against
Then,
PSG.
dude, Club World Cup
You were gonna get a new kit,
2029.
a clean kit. You were gonna make a ton of money off of that.
I think the front office realizes everything that got missed, bro. Just the amount of money that would have brought us, it would have been insane.
Yeah,
And it's just it's something we needed, bro. And I think you at some point you need to realize that that's why you can't take some of these games lightly. Like we took that Chivas away game like it was nothing. We just threw it away. No effort, nothing. We just said we got Conca like we were gonna walk and just take the Conca away from Toluca. I mean, it's just that's why every tournament you play, you got to go out and get it. And we
yep.
got to stop having this attitude that we inherited from Tuca, where we just don't take these tournaments serious and we take stuff off. So,
Oh, well, by the way, we haven't mentioned this yet, but yeah, thank you, Threeker. Another red card that they clearly missed.
well,
Thank
here
you,
here's
Concacaf, bro.
here's what I want to say about that, bro. I was happier to see a CONCACAF ref than any of the clowns we have in our league
Also
because
fair.
because had it been Santander or whoever you want to name from the league, they that game would have been a mess, bro. They would have been handing out yellow cards left and right. We would have had like 4 or 5 guys booked by the 60th minute, and everything would have been yellow cards and red cards. And I'm tired of that refereeing. So to me, I was actually kind of happy to see this ref let things go. It's a final. Let stuff go. That's fine. Like there was a ton of fouls. No yellow cards were handed out. Obviously, that one And the Chivas game, we got a red card for that identical play. But it goes to show that our league is reffing too soft, and
Facts.
it's hurting us for these competitions because then we get refs who don't see it as a red card. To me, it should have been at least a yellow, but it just goes to show the international refing community sees these plays much more differently than the local Liga MX refs do. So that's the thing, something we have to get used to. It I actually meant to say it last week. I said it's going to be a physical game, and there's not going to be a lot of yellow cards being handed out because
Yep.
that's kind of the trend with these CONCACAF refs. So
Yep. Well said. I love that everybody has come out and brought up the tapes with Toluca. Um, between that foul, the Joaquim foul from Paulinho in December, and then the one that Vega had when they played America in that first final.
hmm and it's funny how America fans are kind of backing us up a little bit. I don't
Right.
know if it's
Right.
because they're seeing Toluca kind of approach them in cups and titles, or if they're just legitimately upset that this is going on.
Right. Probably a mixture of both, to be honest with you. I mean, I think there was a lot of I think there was a lot of people who wanted us to win, especially based on the Gignac element of all of this. Especially looking at how people responded to that picture of him just standing there like right after the shootout ended, and you know how sad that picture is in all seriousness. And there was a lot of just sympathy, I think, from a lot of people um, who follow the league and who are fans of other clubs. Obviously, obviously not from the neighbors, but that goes without saying. You're saying, I think we earned their respect after the whole decade. Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, it's been
It's been a
11
good
years.
rivalry.
Yeah, been 11 years of success, and we've had our battles with a lot of the big teams in the league over those 11 years. So, including now this chapter of it. So,
I think Toluca on an international scale doesn't make much of a splash. It's just, even though they've had success, they're not a very well-known team outside of the region. There's just not a lot of people that turn to Mexico and would say, "Oh, Toluca." They just don't have that kind of brand recognition at all. So it'll be interesting to see what these tournaments do for them. Perhaps maybe they start getting some kind of viewership outside of Central Mexico, but to me, it's a team that's still very much a regional team that doesn't move the dial at all for people.
and hear us when we say this. We're not saying that just because we lost this game to
No, no,
them.
I'm not saying
It's
at all. Like,
it's a genuine like thought, and it's a valid thought that Lou has made here.
and I'm also saying it because locally in the league, they don't have a true rivalry, and that's sort of become a meme, some kind of the butt end of jokes that they try to fight with everybody because they don't have a rivalry. And if you think about it, it's kind of true, right? I mean, America and Cruz Azul have a rivalry. America and Pumas have a rivalry. Obviously, America and Chivas have a huge rivalry, and Tigres has Rayados, and other teams have their rivalries. But for a team that's won that much, they don't have a rival, bro. They don't have anybody to say, "Oh, this is our clásico," and it's kind of a little bit sad, a little bit like disappointing that there's nobody there for them to have some banter with,
Yeah,
exchange words with.
yeah, yeah. I think don't they play whoever wins Libertadores in
That's my
Intercontinental?
understanding.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
And then Pumas have their personal rivalry with us for some weird reason. Hey, at least
Well, we've taken two cups from them.
Yeah, and
The one
they're
in '78 and then 2015.
dude, and their nonsense that they've been dealing with is self-inflicted. If you didn't employ the Kraken, uh, you they may be league champions. We just got unlucky and had to deal with a crack goalkeeper. But
I told you before the Liguilla started, bro. It's really hard to win a cup when your strategy is park the bus and counter.
yeah,
You
yeah,
have to be able to make that work out. You have to have an elite defense, and you have to have a really good striker that can put one away right away. And they were depleted. Memote was with the national team, and I mean, you're gonna rely on the Kraken to come through for you. It's kind of
yeah.
tough.
No, not at all. No, no, thank you. We know. Hold on
Do we?
before you say something. We're international now. Look who's back in
Easy,
Woodsy.
boys.
in the whole colors too. Look at that.
Yeah, Super Yakarovich, brother. Come on.
Hey, come
I
on
was
now.
looking at the new kit, man. It looks really nice.
The Adidas ones.
Yeah, yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah, we've got Premier League juice now. So I've seen the elite kits. They look pretty good. I'll stop collecting kits as well, but I might have to dish out some quid to get that new one. I'll
Yeah,
send you another one, Louis.
that'll be nice for
Another jersey swap, Woodsy.
when you guys take points off Man City next season. That'll be a nice kit to take points off of them from. So
Oh, they won't be all that good. I don't like their new manager, mate, Enzo Maresca, man. I think he's a clown.
oh, for sure. For sure. I don't disagree with you there. Um well, welcome back. It's what, 3 a.m. over there? 4 a.m.?
Four.
4. Okay. Well, you're a trooper as always for joining us. Um yeah, I mean you've been hearing us the last, I don't know, however many minutes you've been on, just talking about this game and about, I guess, now the end of the season. So whatever you have to say, the floor is yours for the next few minutes, my friend. Give us your thoughts on how things have been for Tigres.
I mean, I can't give a full dialogue because I didn't watch the game because a certain other team of mine in another continental final fucked that up as well. So I thought I was gonna,
Yeah.
but league champions, Premier League playoffs. I thought Tigres. I thought, all right, I'm gonna go 3-3 here, and then fucked it right up, didn't we? But I didn't watch the game because I was just too depressed from the game earlier. But obviously, I caught the highlights and on penalties.
I think we lost you. Yeah, we're losing you for a sec.
Penalties
Woodsy.
again. It's just so frustrating. I just feel able to achieve that in the.
You hearing this too, Lou?
Yeah, it's kind of cutting off.
Yeah, I think I'm having
Yeah.
some. I think I'm having some tech issues here, lads. And and let me just reset my computer. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah. You just come right back. It's totally fine. Well, while we wait for him to reappear, it sounded like you had something to say.
Well, I
Lou.
was gonna ask you if you want to talk about what we deem would be appropriate departures and the needs of the squad coming up. Be kind
Yeah.
of a good
I got.
conversation to have.
Yeah. Well, Marcelo obviously can't be sold now, due to the injury. Nobody's gonna want to take a contract on an injured
And
guy.
and that's gonna keep him away all next season.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's basically gone in the sense that you can't count on him.
Yep. Obviously, I don't have to explain myself with Juan Purata. Goodbye. Um, I know it's going to be hard, but we got to get rid of Aguirre, man. We have to. I don't see the vision, man. I don't. It's harsh.
Not even
Maybe
as a
after
backup.
6 months. No, that's a foreign spot. If you want to back up, go get somebody Mexican. Those foreign spots are too precious, and the fact that we could have two with Guignac leaving, and then if we can find a way to get Buffalo somewhere else, that could solve your left winger problem. That could solve your striker problem. And I think we need to dish out some serious coin for both of those.
That's fair. Any other departures?
Give his spot to it. Thank you. Yes, give his spot to Isaac Galvan or whatever his name is, the kid, or bring back Leo Flores or somebody. I don't know. Just rather use that spot on somebody else. I know we talked in the chat about Vigon, but obviously he's going to stay. I mean, he just extended. What's the point? Everywhere else though,
Ozzy?
yeah, that's probably the other one. He probably should for his own sake.
I just feel like right now we could still get a little something out of him.
Yep.
That his stock is depreciating.
Yep.
I think we just need to take. I mean, the guy has quality. That's not up for discussion. I think he's a quality player, but he's completely made of glass, bro. You can't rely on him. You can't like Chivas game, really important game, not available. You rest him thinking, well, he'll be available for this one. Gets hurt on the 50th minute because he came out at halftime, ran around for 5 minutes, and then he was already reaching for that leg. So he was already hurt. He didn't get pulled till later, but he was already hurt. He was already feeling that. And so you can't rely on him. To me, that's another guy that needs to go. I'm with you on Aguirre. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. I think most of us want it to happen. It's just going to be very difficult. Unless I mean, what we said about Flores the other day is probably what we want to happen with Aguirre. He goes off in the World Cup.
Yeah.
And some teams like, hey, we'll take him. Yeah.
Stock shoots up, and then you're like, hey, let's take this opportunity.
Yeah, some team in Brazil is like, yeah, we'll take him for Libertadores, bro. Like, come on, like, or some I don't know, some random European team wants him for a year or two.
Even MLS would be decent in an MLS squad.
Shoot, bro, shoot, anybody, bro. I just think that spot is too precious, and you're wasting it with him on the roster when you could have somebody of higher quality.
Osvaldo Rodriguez is another one I would consider letting go.
It's just
because you have Loroña as backup. Paco Reyes already proved his worth.
Yep, Farfan.
And Farfan is back fully healthy. So what are you going to do with Osvaldo Rodriguez? To me, that's one where I like what I saw from Rafa Guerrero to close the season.
Yeah, keep him. And we need him for use minutes.
The Canterano kid doesn't hurt you. The
Simeone.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep him.
You know.
I think he needs to play a big part next season too, by the way. Simeone.
Zwarg is quality. Joaquim is quality. I think the back line looks pretty good. I would not mess with it too much.
Yeah. I agree.
My biggest concerns is left winger because Marcelo Flores is gone. Hopefully Ozzy Herrera's gone. So that leaves you with Chicha and nobody else at that position. So I think you need an elite left winger. Hopefully a guy like Sendejas or Brian Rodriguez. Hopefully we can make some kind of deal with America. Does it sound to you like Brunetta could be out the door, or you still think we keep him?
I want him to stay, but I don't know. I think that is a mystery, to be honest with you. I know wasn't that addressed as well in the press conference yesterday? There was something.
Yeah,
there was a comment made.
Everything that got said was very positive.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we want to keep him, but the way he answered pregame was very cryptic.
Very concerning. Yeah.
Right? It was kind of cryptic, kind of read between the lines. Who knows? Maybe I'll stay, maybe I don't. That doesn't sound like a guy who's fully committed.
Yeah. I would keep him. I would keep him.
I hope so. I think he's a key piece, bro. I mean, him and Correa, Araujo and Gorriarán are going to be solid in the pivot. To me, we're an elite winger away and an elite striker away from having a really competitive squad.
Agreed. Hopefully we can get both of those. And again, opening up a second foreign spot really allows for greater possibilities. But as you mentioned, Zendejas would be a really good option.
Mexican doesn't take a foreign spot.
Although if he has a good World Cup, if he ends up being a surprise for the U.S. men's national team, then maybe that becomes a little bit more difficult. But I don't know. We'll see. How hilarious are the Correa rumors? Hilarious. Nobody
He ain't
should
going
pay
nowhere.
attention to them ever, bro.
Yeah, in one of the Fox Deportes interviews that Carlos Emilio Gonzalez had, he basically just called him our vertebrae. I mean, he's the essential piece. He's gonna be the guy we build around, and River Plate's not gonna drop the cash that we want for him. No chance.
No, and not the cash that we want immediately. Them fools are gonna hit up that Klarna, that Argentinian Klarna, bro.
I'll give you $1 million for 13, 14 years straight. No, we don't want that. Those kind of deals.
No, thank you. Woodsy, are you back? Are you good? Everything reset?
Yeah, bro. Hello again.
Okay. Hello. Okay, well, I'll let you get back to your little monologue that you were going on before your internet decided to stop you from doing that.
I don't remember what I said. It was just about because I didn't catch much of the game, but obviously I saw we lost on penalties, which is just a kick in the arse considering the manner we lost Deligila to Chivas. And do you know what's more gutting than the? I think this is the point I was getting on. What's more gutting than simply ending the season empty-handed? It's Gignac leaving his final season empty-handed. It's a fucking heartbreak. Like if he went out on that Champions Cup and then a Club World Cup qualification, that would have been like the fairy tale story. Then we're going to next season, and I've still got the mentality of let's go into next season, fucking win it all. But it's just a kick in the balls. It's a major kick in the balls, that, especially in the manner he went out to Chivas. It's just incredibly frustrating, and I've got a lot of faith in Guido. I think he's growing really well as a manager. I think he's growing well as a group. We've got the new CEO coming in. I think the squad we've got as well is really there's a good mix of youth and experience, and especially youth. We've brought more youthful players, so it's not like the last few years where we're being over reliant on like Gignac, Nahuel, and Guido himself in the midfield of Carioca. We've now got a good core of young, fresh midfielders, players, defenders, attacking players. So we're moving in the right direction. But that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, man. It fucking hurt, that. It really hurt. And I was a bit more null to the pain not watching the game. But honestly, when I checked the score on my phone, I was just like, for fuck's sake, you're joking me. I thought I wanted a bit of relief, you know what I mean? And then when I thought about Gignac, his final year, it's just, it hurt. It hurt, brother, and that's all you can say. It hurt.
Yeah, I imagine Saturday was tough, man, for you, because as you mentioned with the earlier Champions League final that happened in the day, that's tough going, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I've had better days, Dennis.
Yeah, you had a better day not too long ago, Wembley last week, but 2 penalty shootouts in a day is tough, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I didn't watch the second one. Wembley is just the most magnificent stadium in fucking world football, man. It's got to be like if you like ever come across to see a game, whatever game it be international, you need to, man. You'll be blown away. It's just unbelievable architecture. But then Nahuel made the penalty saves, but and you know, I give him a lot of shit, but after as well, and like he's going to be the villain of the fan base. What's heartbreaking is it wasn't even a bad penalty. There was some good penalties in that shootout. There were some good penalties. He actually placed it bottom left, Gignac style. Took his time, took a breather, and it was just a good save. So it's just weren't like the fucking Gabriel one. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, honestly, man.
Yeah, have they still found the ball for that? Did they ever find it?
Oh man, I needed to get new windows installed the other day, Dennis.
Oh my word, Lou, were you gonna say something?
No, no. I was just gonna add, like, what striker are we scouting for Tigres, bro? Do we have any clue who we could possibly go out and get? That's the problem. Is that, like, who's available? Who could we get? I keep thinking to, like, South America. Who, if there's anybody there that we could possibly take, somebody from Palmeiras perhaps, or some others, the Brazilian team. But you could always, like, spark the Merentiel from Boca Juniors rumors again.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens this off season. But to me, you just can't go another season without a 9.
No manches, bro. Talking about Hormiga.
When you mention that, I've already got an array of strikers in my head, both CONCACAF and CONMEBOL. But obviously what you think is how they adapt to Liga MX as well, because the climate, the pressure, and everything. It's so difficult sometimes. Like you even someone from the same league, we've seen what happened with Ibanez, how hot and cold he was. So asking to get another, and especially because with Gignac, he's now set the standards for our next centre forward. Like he's set the level up there, mate. So that's the pressure's insane. It's insane. You've got to be technically sound. You can't be caught slacking or not pressing every game. You've got to have an eye for goal. You've got to have a burning passion. You can't let some criticism or a couple of bad performances get to it. It's probably I'd go as far as to say it's probably the most pressured position in the team, because we've not had since Gignac's been on the decline, and now obviously he's done since like post 2022. That's when he really started looking his age. We've tried to go down the Ibanez, right, Aguirre as well, who has been decent here and there. Ultimately, that's the position we've been looking at for years, to get that out and out goal scorer with a lot of energy. And it's high pressure. That's going to be, without a shadow of a doubt, that's going to be our number one priority in the transfer market. There's no doubt about that. And it's new CEO, the scouting department, the scouting team, they've got a lot of work to do in regards to that. I don't know if you have any names that you think of, like, particularly, but I can.
I've been eyeing Martin Ojeda from Orlando City for a little while. He's not like your typical 9, but he's another piece that you can add to the squad at that position that would make this team really dynamic. Young, 27-year-old, still in his prime, and I don't know if Orlando would be up for negotiating him, but that's a guy I've kind of kept an eye on for a while, Martin Ojeda from Orlando City.
I don't know too much about him. Like, we did the watch along together, and immediately I'm just thinking Kevin Denke, mate.
Ooh.
Yeah. How much
Evander?
Yeah, but Evander's more of a 10.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
If Brunetta leaves,
I was going to say,
sense.
Evander's going to be off to Europe or something, man. There's like for the fucking big money, man. There's no way. If we can get Evander, man, I'll do crazy things to get Evander in the team. Well,
Sure.
It's just one of those.
Yeah, Denke would be interesting, bro. He would definitely be interesting. He's physical. He's got pace. Good finisher.
Are we still going
He's
after
not technically great, though. No, that's the thing.
No, the Osa rumors have died down, and from what the front office was saying about acquiring players that are good off the pitch, in other words, that are disciplined, that they have the right qualities, that just kind of takes the Osa off the table. He's had a lot of issues with teammates. He's had a lot of locker room issues, conflicts, fighting with coaches, and everywhere he's been, De Osa has had problems, going all the way back to Atlético Nacional. He had issues at Atlético Nacional, nearly got into a fight with his coach at Pachuca. He didn't last long at Rayados, and word on the street is that he was having a lot of issues with Canales, infighting. Goes off to Spain, and now he apparently slept with somebody's women. So there's
Crazy.
a lot of baggage he's carrying. I don't think he'd be the type of player our front office would look at because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um, this is just for kicks and grins. But you know who's a free agent technically? The other Uruguayan striker on the Uruguay World Cup squad.
Who, Darwin
Yeah,
Nunez?
one Darwin Nunez. Yeah,
I actually like him, bro. Even though he was a scrub at Liverpool, but
even though he's a troll sometimes, he's a free agent. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying we should get him, but he's a free agent. You wouldn't have
I
to
don't
spend
know.
money.
I look at him and I just think I really do think Liga Meki's like esque player. Like he's one of those fucking brainless strikers that has just got a wonder goal in him and he just doesn't stop running and he's physical as fuck.
And he's a chaos like a chaos causer. Like he always like brings chaos on the pitch, and that's
yeah,
like perfect for our league, especially in Liga time.
yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
What's the price on that though? I think he's probably out of our
Top ass
price
shit.
range.
Well, he's not 65 million or however much Liverpool paid for him 3 years ago. It's definitely
Yeah,
not
no,
that.
his stock has dropped for
No,
sure.
but it's the wages, Dennis. That's what Lewis means. He comes in
Oh yeah, yeah.
allegedly
Oh
be the
yeah.
highest paid player in the
Yeah,
squad. Like
for
he won't
sure.
even be close.
He would surpass Correa, probably double, and the Cemex want to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit out of the budget.
Yeah.
There's also a guy like Joao Pedro from Atlas, who was the scoring leader last season, has had good seasons.
You mean from San Luis?
I mean, Atlético San Luis, my bad. So that's
I wouldn't hate
another
it.
option.
He was at Hull the season before.
Yeah.
And then you could always bring back the Djokovic rumors from, where is he at now?
Oh, Jovic,
Yeah,
in Kansas City.
Djokovic, Kansas
Yeah.
City. Team that's
I
struggling.
Dude, give me Pedro. Give me Joao Pedro. Of all those options that are like actually realistic, I'd do it.
How many goals has Joao Pedro accumulated this season? Like 12, 13? How many?
I think he had 14, if I'm not mistaken, this season.
14. I think for Hull he had like 6, but like he was one of them. That was our relegation name this season, and he's one of the most poorly fed strikers in the championship. What I will say is that in front of goal, his touch and composure is still there. Like his finishing's crazy, like the way he takes it and spins with the ball. But he also really got that game time as well, because in the championship you play 2 games a week. It's the same in Liga Mekis. You always play 2 games a week after the early period of the league, obviously, when it goes from like mid-July, and then when it goes into like mid-August, that's when the games come thick and fast, and the league's cup hits as well. I don't at his age as well. I'd just be a bit concerned about his fitness levels. But I'd be on to be honest, it's the type of player where if we can get him for like reasonable wages, just as a player to have in and around as a striker option with Aguirre, honestly, I'd be all for that. I think we'd need like more quality. You'd be looking at someone to like lead the line, the new number 9, the new Gignac, if you want to say that. But I'd be all for it as a little option, as long as we strengthen other positions and build the core properly. I won't be against it like at all.
You know who's technically a free agent as well, Lou? Alan Pulido.
Oh, get out of here, dude.
I'm trolling. Hey, you know who also is a free agent is another former European player, AC Milan legend. He's not an AC Milan legend, but Divock Origi is also a free agent.
You love a
For anybody-
freebie, you don't you, Dennis, man?
Hey, I'm just looking at transfer market, bruh.
Well,
who are the free agents out there?
Santi Jimenez hasn't been good at AC Milan, bro. So
Mm-hmm.
that's another one you could steal, even though he probably wants to stay in Europe. But he's familiar with the league.
I was really hoping Raul would come back, but he wants to go back to Wolves after the World Cup. So
That's the word on the street. He wants to go back to Wolverhampton.
Yeah. To crappy Wolverhampton, as Nani
fair enough.
Madueke once said.
That's the first time in my life I'll ever hear someone wanting to go back to fucking Wolverhampton. That's for sure. Okay, now the only thing good about that place is the fucking way out.
That's amazing. Now, left wingers, because that's another position that could definitely use an upgrade.
Are you still going to be pushing Danny Bawanga? Is this where you're going to quote?
No, I'm out. I'm out.
That's Threeger, bro. Threeger is the.
Oh, that's Freaker. I thought that was Dennis.
No. Also, he signed a new deal, Elliot, recently.
Honestly, I think the Sendejas move is gonna happen.
I hope so.
I think it's happening, bro. I think that's. I just hope the Sendejas one doesn't come at a cost. And what I mean by come at a cost is that instead of a straight out buy, it becomes a trade in which we lose Brunetta. See
fair.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now, if they want to give us Rafael Vega and Sendejas for Brunetta, I might be open to it. Even though I know Vega has had a terrible season at America. I still trust that guy.
What do you have to say?
You're like,
Mr. Brazilian football expert.
Rafael Vega, bro. Ex-Palmeiras.
Come on. Make the argument with
he's a good player, man. No, he's not genuine. He's a fucking top player. Like he's been poor for quite a while, though. That's the thing. Since that 2020, when was it? 2023 season, where he accumulated the most assists in the league. Since there for Forest, and then when he's come, he's been poor for quite a while, to be honest. That doesn't mean it's not got the quality there. No, I don't think so. I just I think it's that ankle injury he picked up since then. He's just not really come back and hit the same he's not got back in the same stride since. But that doesn't. I mean, everyone knows that he's got the technical qualities. But sometimes it is just possible for a player to come back and they just go on a bad run of fitting into the wrong teams. Like that might just be the right thing, the thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's the type of thing where I'd welcome it, but it wouldn't surprise me if it didn't go well because with the intensity Guido's trying to play at, I don't know if that favors him because the last time he performed to a high level was with Palmeiras and their manager is known for how do I forget his name? Abel Ferreira. Abel Ferreira. He plays very cautious, deep sitting football, obviously, and he's most effective when he's got space to operate in, and he can play them in swinging crosses and everything. They still do the same shit now, Palmeiras. It's the type of thing where it wouldn't surprise me if he goes back to Palmeiras and he just unlocks that same spark he did like 4 years ago. But I've just seen this absolute fucking woolly mammoth, Ella Valencia. What's he still doing playing at fucking Pachuca? What's he still doing?
Bro, he's trying to get to that World Cup team for Ecuador, bro. He scored some bangers this season too.
Yeah, so I've just been looking up. No, to be fair, he always cooks for Ecuador. To be fair, I'm just surprised he's still around.
Oh yeah, I would if I was a betting man, which I'm not. But if I was, I would put money down on him scoring in this World Cup because he scored in I think every single World Cup he's played. So.
It'll be some shit penalty or something. There's no doubt about that, man. He'll pop up somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm out on Bawanga. I mean, as much as he would be a great fit, I just don't like that ship has sailed. It sailed a long time ago.
That's not gonna happen.
I don't want to bring up the Idrisi old rumor again. Like he hasn't even been that good the last year or so.
No, I think your options are Sendejas, Brian Rodriguez, one of those two from America. Like I said, I just hope it doesn't come at a cost with us losing Brunetta to them. Because it seems like they have their eye on Brunetta and then you're just basically filling one hole and then opening up another. You're playing whack-a-mole.
Riddle me this, riddle me that, boys. With the wingers we've got, we're talking Linus, of course, and you could even bring back Ozil Herrera as well, who plays like an inside forward at times. What about the concept of playing without a natural number 9? So, i.e., Correa up front, who plays as like a false 9, and then you use your wingers inside and you pack the midfield.
We've seen that at various stretches this season, and I think that it works in some matchups. It does.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We've already seen that. We've seen that with Correa and then Brunetta sitting behind as well in the 4-2-3-1. But if you were to alter it into like a 4-3-3, something completely foreign, something we've never seen before, but it's not. It's not a possibility. That's not worth going into the tactical meeting room and saying, look, Correa is all around game. He can spin with the ball. He can shoot a ball left foot, right foot. He's skillful. His hold up play is like surprisingly really good, physical as well. All I'm saying. All I'm saying. Do we take a U-turn?
If we do that, it would be fun. Maybe we could convince, if we play 4-3-3, maybe we can make a flight to take a Cemex flight to Egypt. Cemex sponsored flight to Egypt. Go find another free agent over there.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
And be like, okay, we'll make you the highest paid player on that side of the world.
Mo Salah.
Yeah. Have him play
he said that because he knows where I'm going for it, because it's very Jurgen Klopp style. But obviously, in this case, the all the play and attack, everything would be going through Correa. Like everything would be going through him, and that he's he is the focal point of the team. Like let's not kid ourselves. Him or Correa, and you can argue that. But in attack, it's most definitely him. So it'd be a spectacle.
Start a GoFundMe. Who says no? Nah, I'm playing. I wonder what the front office is thinking if there's not a play for Zendejas or Brian Rodriguez. Surely they have some other plan in place as well. And I wonder too what the front office is thinking, because I think they have to start their prep work now on goalkeeper, because Nahuel only has a year left. And that's something that we can talk about way down the line. But I think that they're going to have to do their due diligence sooner than later on that.
I know the Gudiño rumors were popping up last week. There could be some truth to that. It could be that they bring in Gudiño, who's 29 years old, in his prime, says, hey, you're going to back him up, and then just basically plug him in after Nahuel retires. It wouldn't surprise me if they go down that route. He's been solid, knows the league really well. Journeyman type of goalkeeper. So he did well at Cruz Azul this season. Honestly, I think he should have kept the starting role, but they rolled the dice with their original starter. So, but I think that's a play. And if not, then I think goalkeepers are a little bit easier to find than other positions.
Yeah, for sure. Do we think we fill those spots? Yes or no? Both of them, both a left winger and a striker. We get to game 1 of the season, mid-July. Do we have both of those spots?
As for goalkeeper, just because Nahuel's got a year left, that doesn't necessarily mean that Nahuel's going, because there's always a contract there. But if it's merely the concern about age, is Nahuel is he starting to play like his age? Because he's still you can clearly see he's still got the athleticism. And I've seen like Fabio at he's at Cruzeiro Fluminense now, Brazilian goalkeeper. He's fucking 45 years old, mate. He's still going. He's one of those weird ones where you could say Nahuel's maybe got another 2 years left, because he just doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon.
We talked about it. Yeah, we talked about it earlier. There was a couple instances in the final where he felt like his reflexes weren't fully there. Like they were there, but just a little bit late. But of all the positions on the field, that is the one position where you can kind of have more longevity. So we've seen, Buffon played till he was like 58. So,
Yeah, I hear it. I think since 2024, I've been saying that it looks a bit slower as well. I mean, I've still, for years, this is like years ago, I've been looking at Carlos Acevedo, to be fair, now at Santos Laguna, even when he was at Necaxa as well. I've always liked the look of him, personally.
Yeah, Sean rates him high too. Sean's a big Acevedo fan.
The word on the street is that he might be going to the neighbors.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I heard the neighbors were after the San Luis goalkeeper though.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah. So
Maybe
keep an eye on that.
weighing up some options. Who
I'm
knows?
with Woodsy though. I don't think there's a rush at the goalkeeper position. I mean, yeah, Nahuel has slowed down with age. His reflexes aren't what they used to be, but to me, that's not like a high pressing position
Yeah.
as left winger and striker. I think you definitely need those. If I was a betting man, I think they only go out and get one
Okay.
out of those two.
Yeah. That's why I feel. I think with the World Cup, it's just going to be hard to get two guys in.
I just don't see us adding too many more pieces. Maybe some, you know, middle of the pack type of players that you add as you offload a few. Like let's say we get rid of Osvaldo Rodriguez, we get rid of who was the other guys we were talking about?
Ociel.
Ociel, then you add some pieces, but I think like a big splash or a good name, I think you only get one. And I think it's gonna be Sendejas. If I was a betting man, that's who I would put my money on. Just
Yeah.
because his girlfriend's over here, there's been talks.
You could say that again with the girlfriend. To put it in one big summary, obviously the team is not far off. Yeah, there are things here and there that can be better, but as much as losing two straight finals in penalty shootouts sucks, it tells you that we're this close, right? And so hopefully the board and the front office put faith in Guido and back that up with like players that he thinks would best fit the system and the locker room and all that, and we'll go again. It sucks to say it because I don't like I said, it's a pretty mentally damaging defeat that we just had on Saturday, but we go again in 6 weeks, like the week
No, you're right, Dennis. I was
of the final.
thinking this the other day. Look, in terms of the actual like overall quality of the squad, this is this might be since I've started following the club, which was late 20, early 2020, so about six years, give or take. Like, since I started following the team, on paper, this is the best. You could say either this or 21-22 because that team, even though we didn't win anything, that team on paper was just fucking ridiculous. Gignac when he was peaking, Tarlex doing Louis Quinones, Akikayo. Sorry, I don't know if I keep cutting off here, but getting squad best teams in the league. Like, there's no doubt about that. So we just need to back the manager now, and we just need a new change in mindset. Maybe that's all it might be, just a quick refresh and a quick change in mindset, because we're not a million miles off. So we're that close, man. It's just that little thing.
Agreed.
Yeah. I think what had me worried about Pizarro is that he was kind of going down a path that I wasn't liking, especially with his attitude and trying to park the bus, and I think it was annoying the fans. But I think he learned that lesson. I think he did a better job of managing the team, getting the team ready, and I think he's putting in the work. I mean, you can see it on the pitch. The team moves the ball well. The team has good shape. It's just we're doing the work in practice. I think the team is pretty solid. You get a couple more pieces, and I think this squad is really competitive. The one concern I had as we closed the season was fatigue. I think it really showed that we lacked depth at certain positions, And I think that's the one thing we're going to have to figure out this offseason is finding depth pieces, players that are not too expensive that we can add to the roster that can help Guido Pizarro manage those minutes better. I think that's the one thing we did not do well to close the season. We overplayed players like Bruneta and Correa, uh, way too many minutes for them, and then we just didn't. Even Buffalo Aguirre, you can attribute some of his slump to fatigue. So if we add some depth pieces, players that are not big names, but that we can get at a good price, but they can give you minutes consistently off the bench, then you can rotate the squad a lot more, manage their minutes better, and be able to attack both competitions. Because I think we ended up giving up on the league just because we knew we weren't going to be able to be fit for the final, for the Conca final. So
Yep.
that's going to be key next season. I think we're just going to need to have better players to come in as subs.
Yep.
Sorry, Lewis. I'm gonna sign off real quick. I got this background that running. It's fucking my StreamYard up, so I don't know if you got much of what I said last time. Yeah, I'm gonna get off though, lads. But yeah, we'll go again next season.
That's right. That's all we can do at this point. And hopefully this next season brings much more success because again, we're right there. Not too far away. So, dude, thanks for joining us, Woodsy. Good to see you. Premier League Woodsy. That's what we're gonna start calling you.
Anytime, boys. Anytime. Ollie McBurney, he's in your head. Premier League. Right. Have a nice night, lads. I'll see you.
Good night, Woodsy. We'll see you, man. We'll catch you in the next one.
Yes, sir. Good to see you. Okay. All right. So I think this is it for us for tonight. I think we've hit all the main points here. I'm gonna be honest with you guys that are watching and listening. I don't know where we're gonna be back. I don't think it's gonna be like, we're gonna take 6 weeks off and come back right before the first game of the season in the middle of July, but we'll take a little bit of a break. Part of that is a self-induced.
When's Leagues
on my
Cup?
end? Leagues Cup starts late July, right after the league starts. The league, they said the league is going to start the Friday before the World Cup final. So that weekend is when the Liga MX season will kick off again. So
I guess they don't expect Mexico to be in the final
then. No, probably not. Wait, don't I have me being a bad producer? I don't have a sound. That would have been great. So we'll find out hopefully the schedule at some point over the next couple of weeks. I wish they would have put it out by now. Like the league has been done for a week now. I don't get why they haven't put out a schedule showing August for us. Yeah, but the league has come out and said that they're going to start the Liga MX season beforehand. So I guess we'll get clarity on that at some point. We'll see. Here's what I'll say. I don't think we'll be back next week. We'll see. We probably won't be back. The week after, though, I might say we could be back that week solely because I need to treat you guys to my stories about the World Cup since I will be attending a match in Monterrey. And I will be attending the Sweden match, which means I have an excuse to wear a Sweden type jersey, aka my
Tigres.
My Tigres 2017 Final Regia with Guignac's name and number on the back jersey at the neighbor's house. And I will be attending that game with two of our crew members, Arnoldo and Alfred. So I think I would like to record that week solely for the purpose of that, to let you guys hear that story, and maybe we'll get some news.
Yeah, I think we'll have some rumors by then for sure.
I hope so. At
least rumors.
Yeah. So unless anything crazy happens over the next week or so, we probably won't be back next week. But right after the World Cup starts, I think we'll we'll do something. I'll be honest, I'm going to be gone a lot this next month, so you know, it'll be hard to do a show from the cruise. Let's just say that the cruise that I'm going on later this month. So I can't guarantee anything besides 2 weeks from now. So we'll keep you guys posted though as we get news and information in. So we'll see. And like I said, hopefully that league schedule comes out sooner than later. So in the good times and the bad, and en las buenas y en las malas, we still ride with our team. We still support our team, and we appreciate you guys supporting us, even in the midst of the highs of this season and moments like this where it's just crap. To just talk about a final that you were so close to winning. But it's great to have y'all support, and we just appreciate y'all being so consistent with us this season. We try to be consistent ourselves with at least having an episode a week, and we appreciate you guys, being with us and hanging out in the chat always and giving us feedback and all the things as we've gone through this season together. So thank you for listening and watching and following along. As always, if you haven't checked this out on all of our platforms, look at the screen, look at the show notes, look at the episode description, whatever platform you're on, has all the links and handles and everything else you could possibly think of regarding lautimes and our network of people. So give us the support there if you haven't already. We'd really appreciate it. Spotify followers keeps going up too. We're at almost 70, which is great. So let's keep it up, Spotify gang. And yeah, it's a bitter end to the season, but it's always fun getting to talk about this with you guys, and we appreciate y'all's support throughout the whole way. So that'll be it for us tonight, and it for us for about a week or so, but we'll talk to you guys right after the World Cup gets going. Last thing, Lou, gun to your head, who wins the World Cup? If you had to pick somebody right now.
Coming home.
No manches, bro. No
Okay,
manches.
if it's not coming home, then it's going to Portugal, baby.
Oh, Cristiano gets his title. Okay.
I like their chances, seriously.
Okay.
I do.
I didn't realize how bad Lamine Yamal's injury is, and I have my doubts about Spain. So I'm gonna say France for now. We'll see what happens. Tigres and Colombia. That's my sleeper pick.
Colombia's gonna have a good World Cup, bro.
Yes, they are.
I'm predicting they'll make at least semis, and who knows?
Yeah. Lucho Diaz gonna go on a crazy run this tournament. Maybe that's the left winger Tigres needs. Nah, I'm playing. To spend $300 million to get him. So we'll talk to you guys once the World Cup gets going, and maybe we'll do some World Cup related content as well once we get closer. But for Woodsy across the pond, for Lou down in Austin, and for me, Dennis, here in DFW, this is lautimes. Thank you guys for all your support this season. Thanks for processing emotions and feelings with us tonight, and for following us all season long. We'll talk to you guys in the near future. But until next time, arriba la U.
Peace.